The ashes of Valeria was once a shining world, its cities tall and bright, its skies full of soft golden light. Now it was only ruins and dust after the Great War. Almost nothing was left standing. The air smelled of burnt metal and sadness. Fire still glowed among broken buildings. A cold wind blew, carrying ashes through the empty streets. Two alien sisters, Zyra and Luna, hid inside the shell of a broken transport ship. Zyra, the older one, kept her arm around Luna. Luna was just a child with wide blue eyes full of fear and hunger. Zyra tried not to show it, but she was just as scared all around them. Valeria was silent. Sometimes they heard the distant sound of human machines. The humans had come after the war. They brought their own rules, their own food, and their own weapons. Some helped the weak, Zyra remembered, but others, her mother, had warned, were dangerous. They had not eaten for 2 days. Luna's stomach growled softly. Zyra found only a few scraps, half a broken ration, and some water from a melted ice pipe. She gave all of it to Luna. Luna looked at her with tears. "You should eat too, Zyra," she whispered. Zyra just smiled. "You're smaller. You need it more," but inside, Zyra felt empty and weak. She knew they could not survive long like this. Every day, she watched the sky, hoping to see their parents. Hoping maybe someone from their family had survived. But only the wind answered. That morning, Zyra made a decision. They could not stay hidden any longer. If they waited, hunger would kill them before the humans did. "We must try," she said. To Luna, "Maybe the stories were wrong. Maybe some humans will help." Luna nodded, but her hands shook. Zyra took her hand and led her out into the cold sunlight. The world outside looked even worse. Ash covered everything, like gray snow. The sisters walked slowly through the ruins, keeping low, ready to hide at any sound. Suddenly, Zyra stopped down the road. A small human scouting ship was landing. Its engines kicked up dust and ash, making it hard to see. Zyra's heart pounded. She remembered the stories some humans were kind, but some captured aliens for experiments or even ate them when hungry. But they had no choice now. "We will go slowly. With our hands up, no sudden moves. Just show them we are not dangerous," Zyra said. Luna clung to her side, both of them shaking. The ship's door opened. The tall human in heavy armor stepped out. He held a weapon, but did not point it at them. Instead, he watched them, his face hidden behind a mask. Zyra took a deep breath. She raised her hands. "Please, we are hungry. We are not soldiers," she called in a shaky voice for a long moment. The human did not move. Zyra felt her legs getting weak. Luna started to cry. Then, slowly, the human lowered his weapon. He opened a small pack on his belt and pulled out something, an emergency ration bar. He tossed it on the ground between them and took a step back. Zyra's heart leaped. She rushed forward, picked up the bar, and broke it in half, giving the bigger piece to Luna. The taste was strange and sweet, but it was the best thing she had ever eaten. The human watched them eat, his head tilted. He spoke in a strange language to a device on his wrist. Zyra could not understand, but she saw no anger in his movements. After a while, the human beckoned them forward. Zyra hesitated, but Luna looked at her with hope. "Maybe he is one of the good ones," Luna whispered. Zyra nodded. She took Luna's hand again and walked closer to the human. Ready for anything, the human led them to his ship and pointed to the seats. Zyra could see inside maps, water, and more food packs. She helped Luna sit, still trembling, as the ship lifted off the ground. Zyra looked back at the ruined city of Valeria. She wondered if she would ever see her home again. She wondered if trusting this human was the right choice. But for the first time in many days, she felt a small spark of hope. The journey was not over. In fact, it was just beginning. Zyra and Luna sat side by side in the humming human ship. The seats were hard, but it was the first time they felt safe in days. Zyra kept holding Luna's hand. Their fingers were cold, but Luna's lips finally had a small color after eating. The human pilot, whose name tag read Walker, said nothing as he flew. He checked on them in the mirror sometimes, as if making sure they didn't vanish soon. The ship landed at a human refugee camp. The camp was hidden between broken buildings and ruined alien trees. A fence of bright blue lights surrounded it, keeping out wild animals and hungry raiders. Humans in uniforms walked everywhere. Some looked tired, some looked angry. All looked at Zyra and Luna like they were dangerous. Walker led them through the gate. A young woman in a white coat stepped forward. Her name was Dr. Harris. She stared at the two alien girls with wide eyes. "Are they from Valeria?" she whispered to Walker. He nodded. "Found them starving near the edge." Zyra could not understand all the words, but she saw how people stared at her and Luna. Dr. Harris knelt down, her voice softer. "You are safe now. Can you understand me?" she asked. Zyra nodded slowly. "We are hungry. My sister is sick, Doctor." Harris took Luna's temperature. She frowned. "She has a fever, malnutrition." She called for a stretcher. Luna was quickly carried to the medical tent. Zyra followed, heart pounding with worry. Inside the tent, Luna lay under a warm blanket. Nurses gave her fluids and medicine. Zyra sat by her side, scared to move. Every time a new human entered, she flinched, afraid someone would send them away or hurt them. Later that day, the camp leader arrived. Captain Reed Walker. He was the same human who piloted the ship. He looked older in daylight, his face hard, but not cruel. "You can stay for tonight," he said, "but you must follow our rules. No stealing, no leaving the camp. No trouble." Zyra nodded quickly. "Thank you. We will be good." But as night fell, Zyra saw things that made her feel small. Humans threw away pieces of bread, spoiled fruit, and meat bones. The camp had too many mouths to feed. But still, some food was wasted. Zyra's stomach growled. She remembered days on Valeria when her people feasted. Now she was just a beggar, hiding behind a tent flap. Luna woke in the night, sweating and whispering. "I'm so hungry, Zyra," she said. Zyra could not bear it. She crept out of the tent. She found the garbage bins behind the kitchen. She searched with shaking hands. She found a half-eaten apple and a cold potato. She hurried back, careful not to be seen. Some humans noticed food going missing. They blamed each other. "One of us is stealing," a tall soldier named Keller grumbled. "No, it's those aliens. Why are we feeding them when our own children are hungry?" Another soldier, Mason, replied. Word spread quickly. Some humans started whispering whenever Zyra and Luna walked by. Others stared with cold eyes. Zyra tried to hide, tried to make herself invisible. But Luna's health did not improve. The fever made her weak. Zyra stayed by her side, pressing a cold cloth to her forehead. She felt helpless. Captain Walker came to check on Luna. "She needs real food, not scraps," he said. He left a packet of rations on the table. Zyra's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered. But not everyone in camp felt the same that night. Zyra overheard a group of angry voices. Outside the tent, "Let's chase those aliens out. They're stealing from us." "They're trouble," Keller said. Mason nodded. "We should scare them, make them leave before the captain finds out." Zyra's heart raced. She wanted to run. But Luna was too weak to move. Should she stay and risk being attacked? Or should she leave and take her sister out into the deadly cold? She tried to wake Luna, but Luna only moaned softly. Zyra's hands shook. She peeked outside. She saw Keller and two others walking toward the tent. She ducked back inside, pressed her back against Luna. and waited. The footsteps came closer. She heard whispers, "Are they awake?" "Maybe they ran already," someone said. Suddenly, a bright flashlight shone through the tent flap. Zyra covered Luna with her own body, trying to protect her. But just as Keller pulled the flap open, "Captain." Walker's voice rang out. "What's going on here?" he demanded. The soldiers froze. "Nothing, sir." "Just checking on the aliens," Keller said. Walker's eyes narrowed. "Go back to your bunks. Leave these girls alone." The men grumbled, but obeyed. Walker stepped inside. "You are safe. Here, no one will hurt you," he told Zyra and Luna. For the first time since Valaria fell, Zyra believed him, but in her heart. She knew hunger and danger would always be close behind, and this was only the beginning of their fight to survive. The days in the human camp passed slowly. Zyra never stopped worrying about Luna, even though the humans gave them shelter and some food. The sisters still felt like outsiders. Most people avoided them. Some even turned away when Zyra and Luna walked near. Only Captain Walker and Dr. Harris spoke kindly to them one morning. Captain Walker visited their tent. His face was serious. "If you want to stay, you must help the camp," he said. Zyra's heart jumped. She did not want to leave. "How can we help?" she asked. Walker thought for a moment. "The medical tent needs assistance. Dr. Harris will show you what to do." Zyra nodded quickly. "We will work hard, I promise." Dr. Harris was strict but fair. She showed Zyra how to clean bandages, organize supplies, and help the wounded. Zyra listened carefully. She learned fast. Luna, still weak, was given easy tasks, sorting colored patches or folding clean cloths. Sometimes, Luna drew pictures with a bit of charcoal on scraps of paper. She made faces, hands, animals, and the alien trees of Valeria. Some human children, scared at first, started watching Luna. Her drawings made them smile. A small boy named Finn gave Luna a broken pencil. "For your pictures," he said shyly. Luna smiled, her eyes bright for the first time since Valeria fell slowly. Things changed. A few people saw Zyra working hard. Some even thanked her, but not everyone was convinced. One soldier, Ramos, gave Zyra a ration bar one evening. "Not everyone here is a fool," he whispered. "You're trying to help. I see it." But another soldier, Keller, watched the sisters. With sharp eyes, he did not trust them. One night, Zyra saw him speaking into a radio. He glanced at her, then looked away quickly. The next morning, there was trouble. Captain Walker called everyone together. He held a small black device in his hand. Someone planted a beacon near the fence. He said, if activated, it would signal our position to any raiders, scavengers, or worse. The camp grew tense. "It must be the aliens," someone shouted. "Who else would betray us?" Keller stepped forward. "I saw Zyra near the fence last night," he said. "She was hiding something." Zyra's heart stopped. She had not done anything wrong. "I went to get water," she said. "I didn't plant anything. I swear." Captain Walker stared at her. "Did anyone see Zyra by the fence?" he asked. Ramos stepped forward. "I saw her by the water tank." "Nowhere near the fence," he said. But the camp was divided. Some believed Zyra, others did not. Keller pressed harder. "Search their tent, you'll find something." Walker nodded. "We have to be sure." Zyra's hands shook as soldiers entered her tent. They searched everything: Luna's drawings, their thin blankets, Zyra's only treasure metal charm from Valaria. Suddenly, one soldier shouted, "Found it." He held up a small black beacon. Zyra gasped. "That's not ours. I have never seen it." Keller smiled. "It was under their bedroll, just like I thought." The crowd grew angry. Some shouted, "Send them out. They're spies." Luna started crying. Zyra felt hopeless. But then, Luna remembered something. She whispered to Zyra, "I saw Keller under our tent last night. He dropped something. Zyra's eyes widened. She ran to Ramos. "Can you check the tent cameras?" she begged. Ramos nodded. He hurried to the security station. A few tense minutes passed. People muttered. Some soldiers pushed Zyra. Dr. Harris stood protectively in front of Luna. Finally, Ramos returned. He played a holo recording on his wrist display. The crowd watched in silence. The screen showed Keller sneaking into the sisters' tent late at night. He looked around, then slid something under the bedroll. Captain Walker turned to Keller. "Explain this," he said. Keller tried to run, but the soldiers grabbed him. He shouted, "They tricked me. They're dangerous," but nobody listened now. Walker looked at Zyra and Luna. "You told the truth," he said. "I'm sorry you were blamed." The crowd was quiet. Some people looked ashamed. Dr. Harris squeezed Luna's hand. "You are safe," she said softly. Walker addressed the camp. "These girls helped us. They saved lives in the medical tent. From now on, they have my protection." The mood changed. Zyra saw relief on some faces. But Walker's eyes were still hard. "This camp is not your home forever," he said. "But as long as you are honest and work hard, you have a place here." That night, Zyra and Luna sat together. Zyra held Luna close for the first time. She felt a small piece of trust growing between them and the humans. But deep down, she knew more tests would come in this new world. Trust was the only thing more valuable than food. And trust, Zyra realized, was something you had to fight for. Every single day, asterisk after Keller's lies were uncovered. The mood in the human camp began to change, but the air still felt heavy. Zyra knew some people watched her and Luna with doubt in their eyes. Captain Walker kept his promise, letting them stay, but trust was a delicate thing. It could be lost. Again, just as quickly as it was gained, Zyra and Luna worked every day in the medical tent. Luna's health improved, and she smiled more often. Dr. Harris taught Zyra how to fix basic machines and use simple human tools. Zyra enjoyed learning. It gave her purpose. Sometimes she wondered if this was what her life would have been if Valeria had not fallen, but food was growing short in the camp. A recent supply truck had been attacked by raiders. Now, every ration was counted. Every crumb mattered. Tempers rose at night. Whispers circled the camp. Some said the aliens brought bad luck. One morning, the food processor, the camp's only machine for making safe rations, broke down. The whole camp panicked. Without it, there would be no food for days. Captain Walker gathered everyone. "Who can fix this?" he asked. Zyra remembered her father's lessons back on Valeria. "I can try," she said. Some humans laughed. "An alien fixing our food. She just ruined it." Keller's old friends sneered, but Walker's gaze was steady. "She fixed the medical scanner last week. She deserves a chance." He turned to Zyra. "You have until sunrise to get it working. If you do, you stay. If you can't, you'll have to leave." Zyra nodded. She hurried to the storage tent. Luna followed her. Zyra opened the food processor and stared at its wires and circuits. They were strange and nothing like Valerian machines. But she saw the problem: a broken relay and a clogged valve. She rolled up her sleeves and started working. Luna brought her tools and a light. Together, they worked through the cold night. Zyra's hands were numb. Her stomach ached with hunger, but she did not stop. At midnight, Luna found Keller lurking nearby. He slipped into the shadows. Zyra didn't see him. Luna whispered, "Keller is up to something. Be careful." Zyra checked the parts she'd set aside. Some were missing. She searched the dark, finally finding the missing pieces near the waste bin. Dirty and dented, she cleaned them carefully. Her hands shaking, she worked even faster, hoping to finish before anyone else could sabotage her work. As the sky turned pale with morning light, Zyra finished her repairs. She called for Captain Walker and Dr. Harris. A small crowd gathered, hungry and tense. Zyra pushed the start button. The machine coughed, buzzed, and went silent. For a moment, no one spoke. Zyra felt cold fear in her bones. Had she failed? Suddenly, the machine whirred to life. The lights blinked, and the first ration packs dropped out. A cheer went up. Luna hugged Zyra. Dr. Harris clapped her on the back. Even some of the doubters looked impressed. But then someone shouted, "Check." The security logs. Ramos, the friendly soldier, brought up the holocamera feed. The footage showed Keller sneaking near the food processor during the night, stuffing parts into his pocket. The camp gasped. Captain Walker faced Keller. "You tried to make Zyra fail. Why?" Keller's face was red with anger. "They don't belong here. They'll take our food and our jobs. You'll see." But no one listened now. Walker ordered Keller to be locked up. Zyra watched as Keller was led away, feeling a heavy weight lift from her heart. Walker turned to Zyra and Luna. "You saved the camp. You worked hard. Even when others tried to stop you, from now on, you have my full protection," he said. Zyra nodded, feeling relief and gratitude. But Walker's next words reminded her that life in the camp was still uncertain. "This camp is not your home forever, but you have earned your place here. For now." That evening, Zyra and Luna ate with the other camp workers. The food tasted better than anything Zyra could remember. Luna laughed, telling stories about Valaria to the children. For a little while, they all forgot their hunger and their fear. But as Zyra looked up at the stars, she knew new challenges would come. She had earned mercy today, but every day brought a new price to pay. On a fallen world, nothing was given for free. As the camp lights flickered against the night, Zyra silently promised herself she would keep fighting, not just for her own life, but for Luna's hope, and for the small trust they had won among the humans. The real test, she knew, was still ahead. Days after Zyra fixed the food processor, the camp settled into a tense but hopeful routine. Zyra and Luna earned more trust, and now some humans even smiled when they passed. Ramos always shared a joke or two, and Dr. Harris let Luna draw on her medical logs. Still, Zyra felt the weight of being different. Each day was a reminder that they didn't truly belong. Captain Walker, who once only spoke in orders, began to visit them more often. He shared stories about Earth, about his own daughter who had been lost during the early days of the war. Zyra listened quietly. She could see the sadness in his eyes. Sometimes when Luna laughed, Walker would look away as if hiding tears. But there were still problems no one could fix. Food supplies kept shrinking. The raiders who destroyed the last supply convoy had made it dangerous to send out more trucks. The rations were cut again. Some humans blamed the aliens quietly. Zyra noticed Walker skipping his own meals, pretending he wasn't hungry one evening. Luna tried to give her dinner back to Walker. "You need it more," she whispered. Walker just smiled. "You two need to grow strong." "I've had plenty." Zyra saw his hand shake as he handed her the bread. That night, Walker met with his officers. "If the food runs out, we'll have to send someone away." Ramos frowned. "Not the girls, sir. They saved us." Walker rubbed his tired eyes. "I know, but if the camp turns against them, I may not have a choice." Zyra overheard part of their talk. Her stomach twisted with fear. She decided to act before someone else made the choice for her. She asked Dr. Harris if there was any way to help. "The old greenhouse is full of wild plants, but some are safe. Luna and I can look for food," Zyra offered. Dr. Harris was unsure, but she gave Zyra an old scanner and a list of safe plants. "Stay close to the camp. If you see trouble, run back. Promise me," she said. The next morning, Zyra and Luna set out before sunrise. The world beyond the fence was silent and gray. Their boots crunched through frost and ashes. Zyra held the scanner. Luna carried a small bag. They moved slowly, searching the tangled weeds and broken roots. Hours passed. They found only a handful of edible berries and some tubers. Luna was tired and shivering suddenly. A sharp sound made Zira freeze. Something was moving in the shadows. Zira pushed Luna behind her. From the trees, 3 strange figures stepped into the light. They were not humans or Valerians. Their skin was gray-green, their eyes cold and wild. Scavengers, desperate survivors from another fallen world. The largest one pointed a metal rod at Zira. Food. "Give us everything," he hissed. Zira handed over the small bag of berries. Luna clung to her side. "We have nothing else." "Please, my sister is sick," Zira begged. The scavenger leader laughed. "Lies, you humans always lie." He stepped closer, grabbing Luna's arm. Zira tried to fight him off, but he was too strong. Luna screamed, kicking wildly. Suddenly, a voice shouted through the trees, "Let them go." Ramos appeared, rifle raised. Walker was beside him, eyes fierce. The scavengers hesitated, but hunger made them bold. "Back off, human. We need this more than you." Walker aimed his weapon. "Touch them again, and you'll regret it." The scavengers backed away, eyes full of hate. They vanished into the ruins. Zira collapsed. To her knees, clutching Luna, Ramos knelt beside them. "Are you hurt?" he asked gently. Luna shook her head, tears running down her cheeks. Walker helped Zira stand. "You were brave, but you should have called for help," he said softly. Zira nodded, ashamed. "We just wanted to help. We didn't want to be." Burden. Back at the camp, Dr. Harris wrapped Luna in a blanket and checked her for bruises. Walker sat beside Zira. "You risked everything for a few berries. Why?" he asked. Zira looked at him with tired eyes. "Because I know what it feels like to lose everything. I never want to watch my sister starve." Walker was silent. Then he took Zira's hand in his own. "You remind me of my daughter. She was strong too. She never gave up." Maybe that's what this world needs, people who don't give up. That night, Zira and Luna slept side by side in the warm tent. Safe for now, but Zira's dreams were troubled. She knew there were dangers outside the camp, and dangers inside. People's hearts, too. The next morning, a new threat arrived with the cold wind. A warning from the guards. The scavengers had been seen circling the camp, and the food was lower than ever. Zira realized their fight for survival and for trust was far from over. Cold wind howled around the camp as night fell. The guards built extra fires and doubled their watch. Ramos paced the fence, scanning for any sign of the scavengers. Inside, people whispered in fear. The memory of the attack on Zira and Luna was fresh in everyone's mind. Captain Walker ordered the gates locked. No one in or out until sunrise. Zira lay awake beside Luna, listening to the sounds of the camp. Every creak and footstep made her tense. Luna pressed close, shivering. "Will they come back?" she whispered. Zira hugged her. "We'll be safe. Captain Walker and Ramos won't let anything happen to us," she said, but in her heart, she was not sure. Later that night, the alarm bell rang. Everyone jumped from their beds. Zira grabbed Luna and rushed outside. Soldiers moved quickly to the east fence. Shadows danced beyond the lights. Ramos fired a warning shot. But the scavengers kept their distance, just out of sight. Walker called a meeting at the main tent. "We can't stay like this," he said. "We're running out of food. And they know it. We have to do something. We can't wait for the next attack." Some wanted to send the sisters away, hoping the scavengers would leave the camp alone. Dr. Harris protested. "They're children. They've helped us." "We're better than that," others argued. "We have to protect our own." Zira stood quietly. Watching the debate, she didn't beg. She just held Luna's hand and waited. When the voices grew louder, Ramos spoke up. "We need a plan, not blame. The scavengers are organized, but they need food just like us. Maybe we can use that, Walker nodded. We need to scout outside. We need volunteers, Ira. You know the ruins. Will you help? Zira hesitated, but Luna squeezed her hand. Zira nodded. I'll do it. I don't want anyone else to get hurt. Before sunrise, Zira, Ramos, and 2 others slipped out of the camp. They moved through ruined buildings and frozen streets, following the tracks left by the scavengers. They found empty fires, torn clothing, and broken crates. The world was silent except for the wind. As they searched, Zira noticed strange marks in the snow, shapes too perfect to be made by animals or humans. She knelt, touching the cold ground. It was smooth, as if something heavy had passed through. Ramos frowned. Looks like tracks from the old Terran biodroids, but those things should be scrapped by now. Suddenly, a soft humming filled the air. A pale blue light glowed ahead. Ramos signaled for silence. The group crept forward. In the middle of a collapsed house stood a tall, shining figure. Its metal skin shimmered in the night. It was a Terran biodroid, one of the machines left behind after the war. The biodroid scanned the ruins with bright eyes. Its voice crackled. Survivor, detected, identify. Zira stepped forward, her heart pounding. She remembered a code. Phrase her father used during the war. She spoke it in the old Valerian tongue. The biodroid paused, its lights flickering. Then it powered down, standing motionless. The others stared in disbelief. Ramos whispered, "How did you do that?" Zira shrugged. "My father built machines like this. He taught me their language." They hurried past the disabled biodroid, deeper into the ruins. At last, they found the scavengers' camp, hidden under broken metal sheets and camouflaged. With debris, the scavengers huddled around a small fire, thin and desperate. Most of them were children and mothers. Only a few were armed. Zira's heart softened. She realized they were not monsters, just hungry and afraid. Ramos called out, "We know you're there. We're not here to fight. We want to talk." The scavenger leader stepped out, his face thin and hollow. "Talk. Or shoot." He spat. Zira raised her hands. "We're starving too. But if we keep fighting, no one will survive. Maybe we can help each other, at first." The scavengers did not believe them, but Zira showed them the scanner doctor Harris gave her. She explained how to find wild food and which plants were safe. Some of the younger scavengers listened, hope lighting their eyes. Suddenly, a shot rang out. One of the human scouts panicked, firing into the shadows. The camp exploded in chaos. Ramos and Zira dove for cover. Luna screamed as stray bullets hit the metal sheets. The scavengers scattered, grabbing their few possessions and running. In the confusion, Luna was separated from Zira. Zira pushed through the chaos, calling her sister's name at last. She found Luna hiding under a piece of wreckage, trembling and crying. Zira hugged her tightly. "I've got you. I'm here." When they returned to the human camp, Ramos explained everything to Captain Walker. "It's not just us. The scavengers are dying too. If we don't work together, none of us will make it through the winter." Walker looked at Zira and Luna, his face grave but hopeful. "Maybe. It's time for mercy, not just for our own, but for everyone who's left." As dawn broke over the ruined city, Zira realized survival wasn't just about food or fighting sometimes. It was about courage. Sometimes about kindness, and sometimes it was about daring to trust, even when it hurt. Morning light crept over the ruined city as the camp awoke. A cold, thin hope settled in the air. Zira and Luna sat together near the campfire. Both wrapped in one old blanket, their eyes were tired but bright. They had survived another night. But everything felt changed. The humans and scavengers were no longer strangers in the shadows. They were all just people, hungry and afraid, hoping to see another sunrise. Captain Walker called a meeting at the center of the camp. Ramos stood at his side, his rifle slung across his back. The camp's leaders, and even the scavenger leader, joined the circle. There was tension and suspicion, but also a new sense of possibility. Walker spoke first. "We can't keep fighting each other. We're running out of food. If we don't help each other, nobody will survive. Not us, not the children, not anyone." The scavenger leader scowled. "Humans always break promises. Why should we trust you now?" Zira stepped forward, her voice steady, "Because you have no other choice, and neither do we. We all lost our homes, our families. We're not enemies, now we're survivors." It took hours of arguing before anyone agreed, but Zira made a plan. "Let's search the ruins together. We'll split whatever food we find. We'll share tools, medicines, and information. If we work together, we have a chance." Some people still muttered against the idea. "They'll betray us the first chance they get," Keller's old friends whispered. But Walker silenced them. "If anyone steals or attacks, they're out human or alien. We stand together or we fall." For days, the humans and scavengers worked as a single group. Zira led teams through half-collapsed buildings, searching for hidden food supplies and old tech. Luna made friends with the scavenger children, showing them how to draw and laugh again. Ramos kept watch over everyone, ready to step in if trouble started. And Captain Walker gave the last of his own rations to the smallest and weakest. They found boxes of old Earth food in an abandoned storehouse, dried beans, packets of meal, even a few chocolate bars. They split everything equally, just as promised, for the first time in weeks. Everyone ate until they were full, but survival came at a price. The camp was attacked again, not by scavengers, but by a rogue band of desperate humans who wanted everything for themselves. They struck at night, their weapons loud and wild. Zira woke to screams and the crackle of fire. Walker and Ramos fought side by side with the scavenger leader. The camp was thrown into chaos. Zira grabbed Luna and the younger children, leading them to safety behind a pile of rubble. The attackers broke into the food tent, grabbing what they could, but Ramos spotted them, leading a group to cut off their escape. In the heat of battle, Luna was nearly captured. Zira threw herself in front of her sister, arms wide. "Take me, but leave her alone," she cried. The rogue humans hesitated, not expecting such bravery. Suddenly, the scavenger leader and two of his strongest came charging, knocking the attackers away. In the chaos, the invaders fled, leaving most of the supplies behind. After the battle, the camp lay silent. People nursed wounds and counted their losses. The humans and scavengers worked together to rebuild. Zira and Luna were called heroes, not because they fought hardest, but because they never stopped believing things could be better. A few days later, Captain Walker gathered the camp once more. "You risked everything for us," he said to Zira and Luna. "You could have run, but you stayed. You gave us hope. You taught us how to trust." He smiled, tired but proud. "You are family. Now, if you ever want to go, you can, but you always have a home here." Zira looked at the faces around her, human and alien, young and old. She felt tears burn her eyes. For the first time since Valaria fell, she was not afraid. She reached for Luna's hand. "We'll stay. We're not running anymore. We have people to protect, just like they protected us." That night, under the clear, cold stars, the camp shared a feast of their last chocolate bars and hot tea. Zira sat with Luna, Ramos, Walker, and the scavenger children. They laughed and told stories of their old worlds and the new one they were building. Together, Zira looked up at the sky, whispering a silent promise to her parents. "We survived, and we saved others. At any cost, we choose hope in the ashes of two broken worlds." A new kind of family was born, stronger than hunger, stronger than fear. Together, they would face whatever tomorrow brought, no matter the cost.